all you action figure enthusiasts out there. JC here, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of TNInews Live. And we've got a fair amount of stuff to go over today. So we're in our final week of August. It seems like August just began. Hard to believe the summer is almost over, and it is soon going to be September. Of course, I love September because, of course, that is the month I was born in. So it'll be my birthday next month, towards the end of the month, but still. September I do consider to be a pretty good month. But before we get into today's news, let's just do a quick roll call. I am running a little late today. I was working on a new ending segment, the ending part. I created a new one that I like better, but I guess it was a little too long, so the system didn't like it. So I'll have to go back and shorten it up, but I didn't have time to do that today. So we'll be using the older, or the one you saw last time at least, for the ending of today's video. But anyway, let us get into a roll call here. See who's in the house. We've got John here. Good to see you. Zim is in the house. What is up? Got a Hasbro notice for Snake Armor. I will have to check and see if I've gotten mine yet. Hopefully that will be shipped. I got a email from Hasbro Pulse saying Slice and Dice was getting ready to ship, but had not yet shipped. So it was weird. I was getting ready to ship on Slice and Dice, because I don't, other than maybe HasLabs, I don't recall getting like a ready to ship on Pulse items, but maybe I did and I just don't remember. But anyway, Slice and Dice I think will be coming soon, and maybe the Snake Armor as well, hopefully. Mr. Allmine, what is up? William is in the house. Good to see you there. Elio is here as well. Let's see. William says, don't forget to wash your hands. Never. Felix is in the house. Good to see you. Phil is in the house as well. Sinister October Solo is here. Good to see you. Felix is digging the new Youngblood figures. That's something we're definitely going to be talking about today. Road Pig John, what is up? John Brooks is here from Ireland. Always good to see you. So Crystal Ball. So you guys, I told you how, like with Mini, my original pre-order for Crystal Ball got canceled by Walmart. But this Saturday, I just happened to check the Walmart website. I had been kind of periodically checking, and it was in stock. And so I bought one, and it arrived the very next day. Now, from what I could tell, it was a regional thing, meaning other people, depending on where you lived in the country, if you clicked on the website the same time I was, it was not showing in stock for some people. So it was definitely a regional thing. Again, it arrived the very next day. In fact, some older gentleman in his own personal car drove up to my house on Sunday and dropped him off at the front door using this envelope. So, I mean, because I think it came straight from a distribution center or even maybe a store, I don't know. It wasn't showing available in any of the local stores, but it definitely shipped from somewhere nearby. So, so I think the guy just picked it up in this envelope, put it in his car, and drove to my house. And I guess, maybe it's a part-time job for him or something. I don't know. But so I was able to finally get my Crystal Ball. And he stayed in stock for me at least a good portion of Saturday. I posted about it on TNI, but I did note that it may be regional. And I had checked. I asked somebody who lived in a totally different state. I said, hey, go check out Walmart and see if that's available to you. And they did, and it wasn't. So it was definitely regional. I feel like that has something to do with the whole pre-orders get canceled and such, because, and I don't know if this is like some way Walmart envisions themselves competing more with a place like Amazon. Because again, like for this particular item, when I had finally ordered it the second time, it arrived the very next day. So I feel like maybe it's something where they're using local distribution centers. And what's weird is, like, when Amazon has something, it's available for everybody, regardless of where you live. I mean, at least within the United States. I've never seen on Amazon where it's available for some people and not other people. It may ship faster to some people than other people, but it's available for everybody. But with Walmart, it definitely seems to be something where oftentimes you'll see regional listings. Where, and I think that's why, we sometimes, I think, maybe assume, because you'll see somebody will post, "Hey, crystal balls in stock, head over quick," and then you click on it, and they literally just posted 2 minutes ago, and you click on it and it says not available. And I don't think it's because it sold out super quick. I think it's because it was only available for that person in the area he was, living in, for whatever reason. So, and again, this seems to be something that has become far more common with Amazon stuff. And again, probably has some weird reason for why these things get canceled, but then, like, are in stock oftentimes just a few days later. So I'm still waiting. This week we'll see if they cancel my 77 Spider-Man figure. I think today is the date it was supposed to ship. I haven't logged in to check today, but I'm going to guess that's going to be another one where I'm going to have to go through this cancellation period. And then if maybe I'm lucky, I can get a local, find it when they post it, regionally, and get it, like I did with Crystal Ball. Now, I don't know if that was the same way with the Faker figure last month, because that's still in stock. So I don't know if that's shipping regionally, or, that was the first one this in this time period, basically from the last Collector Con early in the year. That was the first figure that I had pre-ordered during Collector Con. It got canceled 2 days later. It showed in stock. I bought it. I had to pay an extra $1. I didn't check to see if I had to pay, if it was the exact same amount. I need to do that. I need to go and look at the amount it charged me for the first pre-order and then see if that was the same as the second. I mean, I definitely just paid regular price, but like on the Faker, I ended up paying an extra $1 when I had to reorder it. So it's aggravating. As I said before, I don't think Walmart's going to do much to fix it. And unfortunately, we've got another Walmart Collector Con coming up on October 9th. We've got already, we know, the Mysterio, Marvel Legends Mysterio figure is going to be an exclusive for that. I'm sure there'll be other Hasbro products as well. So we'll get to do it all again. And like I say, I'm totally expecting this week sometime I'm going to get a cancellation notice on my 77 Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure, and then have to go through this again with that one. And speaking of, I mean, he's a pretty cool figure. I pulled him out here just to give you guys a look. I never had the original Crystal Ball figure, so this is actually, I do have one of the more modern 3 3/4 inch Crystal Balls, but I never had the original Crystal Ball. So, and actually, honestly, I don't remember. I mean, I remember the original toy, but I don't remember. Like, I don't think he ever appeared in the comics, the original Marvel run. I don't think he. I know he was in like IDW comics late, much later on, but I don't think he ever appeared in the Marvel comics. I don't think he was ever in the original cartoon series. So, he's an interrogator, basically. He's a gypsy. He has gypsy ties, and he uses psychic mind powers, I guess, to try and extract information from GI Joes, and I guess hypnosis and such as well. So, and I've not read the Skybound comics, which this figure has some basis on, I believe. So I got the alternate head on here, which I think is pretty cool, which is done with that translucent plastic. So depending on your lighting, you can really get some cool light up effects. You can, for his shield, you can pop off that green part, so it's more like the original toy. I would say it'd be cooler if I guess it does. I was gonna say it's hard to kind of get. It's got that it's that reflective, So, but it's hard to kind of get it to move. There you go, kind of a little bit there. So that mesmerizing hypnosis. He's got a sword, again, with a kind of green blade. I got his regular head here. Take it off. Do be careful. He has these necklaces that he wears that when you pop the head off, these can pop off pretty easily. They're very small, so just be careful when you're switching out the heads that you don't lose those necklaces. So this head sculpt is more in keeping with the original figure. He does have a gun. So the coat technically is removable, but he's got, it's not really meant to be removed because it will look, he's got the sleeves are sculpted on, but the coat itself is a separate piece. He's got this pistol. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a snake wrapped around the barrel, but pretty cool. And so I always felt like this guy, Crystal Ball, always in this guy, because both of these guys were really, they came towards the end of the G.I. Joe line, and both were kind of really off the wall type characters. So the Raptor. And just one more Battle Armor Cobra Commander. He also comes with an actual crystal ball type thing. So you get that as well. And an extra hand. So yes, the adventure, but again, I was able to get one. Pretty happy I was able to get one. It wouldn't have been the end of the world. Like I said, I never had the original Crystal Ball. It wasn't like a character I was like hugely tied to, but I definitely wanted to make sure that I got him. So I wasn't going to go to the secondary market and pay extra for it, but I was definitely hoping that I could, get another shot at him at Walmart. All right, so let's get into some news. So first of all, we'll start off with Masters. Why not? Mossman is now available for everyone. It went up yesterday for King Grayskull members, but this new Eternity version of Mossman for the Masterverse line is available for everybody. I went out and pre-ordered mine this morning. Again, probably the best Masterverse Mossman I think they've done to date. Stands 8.25 inches tall. Would have been cool if they had added some actual flocking in like the original figure, but there you go. And I'm pretty sure it's still available. $35, but yes, it is still available if you want to add this one to your collection. It is a deluxe, it's a larger size. Has some fancy-ish packaging. So, also, while we're on the subject, we had an extension and for the Snake Lair playset. So originally this was going to be ending tomorrow, but Mattel decided to extend it until the end of September 2nd. So you got a little extra time on this one. I don't think it's still not moving great. We're up to 6,200. So as far as getting to stretch goal, the one and only stretch goal, the 8,000, so that you can get the Pythonus Priest. I don't know. I really have my doubts we're going to get to that one. I really feel like, if Mattel wanted, I assume they extended it, hoping it would get to the 8,000 for the stretch goal. I really feel like if they wanted to get to the 8,000, they really should have just come out and said, you know what, we're going to give the early bird Lady Slither to everybody, regardless of when you backed it. We're going to throw that one in. And I think, especially if you extended the date to the second, that would have maybe given them the boost that they're looking for. I won't say it's impossible because we'll just have to wait and see. If this gets to 8,000, it's literally going to be in the final hours of the campaign. That I have no doubt. So we'll have to see. But as I said, without the early bird, I feel like pretty much everybody that was really going to want this one did it by or before the 14th, which was the early bird deadline. So I feel like a few stragglers coming in at the end, but for the most part, I feel like there's not going to be much incentive to back this at this late of a date. So but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. But again, if you've been thinking about it, you again have a few extra days than what was originally advertised. You have until the end of September 2nd, which is next week. McFarlane. So having gone up for pre-order, I never checked if this was available anywhere else besides the McFarlane store. I meant to do that. It doesn't seem to. Oh, there we go. So this is the DC Rebirth version of Batman. They are doing a bundle. The figure is technically sold separately, which is sold out. The figure itself by itself is sold out. But you can still get the bundle if you want the Batmobile along with the figure. The figure does have an unmasked head sculpt. So I don't think the original had the unmasked. The big thing is the soft goods cape, so the figure can actually sit in the Batmobile. But I don't think it had the unmasked head sculpt either. You can buy just the Batmobile. Like I said, technically the figure and the Batmobile are sold separately. $99 for the Batmobile and 109. I mean, honestly, if you're going to get the Batmobile, I'd say get the bundle. It's a difference of $10 and you get the figure. So I would definitely do that. Let me just check. I just want to see something. Because sometimes with these Batmobiles, even though they say they're McFarlane store exclusives, they end up having them on Amazon. But no, looks like this one was only available on the McFarlane store, though. For those of you in Canada, EB Games does have it, which EB Games in Canada has almost every single McFarlane product, regardless of whether it's an exclusive or not. And as we know, one of the owners of McFarlane Toys, not Todd himself, but one of the other owners of McFarlane Toys, I think there's two of them, Todd and somebody else, bought EB Games this past year. So that's kind of why you see that. All right. So let's see. So that's pretty much it on McFarlane, though we do have a few more pre-orders from McFarlane. Well, actually, so they've announced a few additional pre-orders coming up in September. A new statue for Poison Ivy, September 2nd on this one, based on Scott J. Campbell. So we have this preview image. So if you're a Poison Ivy fan, you might be interested in that one. I don't have any pricing on it yet, but it's a 1/8 scale statue. So also another round of the 1/3 scale Batman cowls are coming up for pre-order again on September 2nd. So the Court of Owls cowl, along with the Batman and Robin movie cowl, and the Dark Knight Returns armored cowl. So those are your three newest Batman cowls, again going up for pre-order on September 2nd. But this Friday, if you're into Marvel, we have a couple of statue items going up. So first of all, if you're going to D23 this year, the Disney convention, you can get this exclusive version of Spider-Man with the kind of gold, mimicking the gold foil cover that they did back in the day. But going up for regular pre-order on Friday is going to be this Wolverine, and these are 110 scale. So this Wolverine based on Wolverine number 85. This Deadpool with the shark character, I forget his name. Sharky, it's not Sharky. But anyway, Deadpool number 1. And then Colossus is going up, but it's a red platinum, so that one's probably going to be harder. I'm going to guess GameStop maybe or McFarlane's store will have these online, but again, technically Colossus, to help finish your X-Men number 1 cover, is a red platinum figure. So those are your McFarlane. I guess we can stick with Marvel Legends. So just announced today by Hasbro's Dan Young, this was shown off at San Diego Comic-Con, this Emperor Doom figure. It will be going up for pre-order on September 2nd. So another September 2nd pre-order for you. This should be available places. It's a fan channel, Amazon offering. So again, September 2nd for this one, 1 p.m. Eastern time. If this is something that interests you, wearing, Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange's cape, basically. So, new Doctor Doom figure for your collection. We got the announcement this week of Target Geek-Out starting this coming Friday. So it seems like we just had Target Geek-Out, but the next one is starting this Friday. Now, I don't think this Friday will be Hasbro's day, just because we've got the Storm and the Mystique figures that are Target exclusives, which I believe will be going up during this event. And Dan Young had said that like the Mystique was going to go up for pre-order in September. So I don't think this Friday will be Hasbro's day. And if you're not familiar, Geek Out, like for like 5 weeks, something like that. Every Friday, there's a new product. There are product drops from specific companies. So one Friday is McFarlane, one's Hasbro, so on and so forth. So we never know who the first is. Last time it was Hasbro, even though it was unannounced that it was Hasbro. So that was all kind of weird. But I don't think we're going to start off with Hasbro this time. But sometime over the course of September, we're going to see these two Target exclusive Mystique and Storm on the retro card backs go up for pre-order at the Target during the Target Geek Out event. I'm thinking maybe the first Friday in September is when we'll see these, but that's just my speculation. But again, within the next 5 weeks, definitely you can expect these to go up for pre-order. And as far as other items that are going to be made available during Target Geek Out, that information we do not yet have. If you're into comic books, you might want to check out this year's Marvel Unlimited Annual Plus membership kit. Every year they offer an exclusive Marvel Legend figure, which is usually just like a repaint or something. So this year we are getting this Spider-Woman in black costume. Right now, this is the only look we have for it. We'll probably get a better look at it in the next few days. Last time I checked, they had not even updated their membership kit page with this one. Oh, now they have. Earlier they hadn't, but so probably have a better image for this one up on the site here soon. But again, Marvel Unlimited annual plan, new Spider-Woman figure, if that's something that interests you. This week's pre-orders went up yesterday. So this was the Deluxe Strong Guy, the Maximum Deadpool and Dupe, and then that Wolverine mask. So I was looking at the Canada price on Strong Guy. It was like $55.99 for Strong Guy. Now it was supposed to be $40. So, but there was some wonkiness. I will tell you, there was some wonkiness with the pricing yesterday. Hasbro Pulse actually had the Maximum Deadpool up for a little while at a higher price than anybody else. Entertainment Earth had the Star Wars figures up, which also went up for pre-order. The two Black Series Anakin and Obi-Wan for like $32 each. Midway during the day, everybody corrected their prices to the correct prices. But remember, I had told you that there had been rumors of price increases coming on some of these Hasbro figures. And what I'm suspecting happened was they were, in fact, that was, in fact, a rumor that was going to be true. And then last minute, they decided not to raise the prices. But there was a miscommunication. That's the second time this year that's happened. Because they were going to raise the prices when the China tariffs were like really, really high. And then last minute, when it seemed like maybe that wasn't going to go into effect, they pulled the price hike back. But, these things don't update quickly. So, when there's a last minute change like that, it can cause confusion. So I think that's what happened yesterday. But normal price for Deadpool is $49.99 with dupe. The mask was $99, and Strong Guy is $39.99. And again, those are all available for pre-order. Let's jump over to Star Wars. I got some holiday figures from Walmart. These have not been officially announced, but Walmart, in typical fashion, these might be Walmart Collector Con items as well, probably. They've pulled the listings, but earlier in the day, you could actually pre-order these off of Walmart. But R2-D2 with Grogu dressed as Santa, and then you've got a Stormtrooper dressed as a reindeer with some porgs. So, again, those are probably going to be Star Wars Walmart Collector Con offerings. I would not be surprised. But pre-orders for Star Wars this week, these were all announced this past weekend at the Canadian Fan Expo. But the Obi-Wan and Anakin Black Series figures, which are essentially the same figures that came in the San Diego Comic-Con set, only you don't get all the additional accessories and everything. But and the regular price is supposed to be $25 on those. Anakin is sold out at Big Bad. I heard Anakin was probably the more popular of the two Black Series figures. Amazon's sold out of Obi-Wan and Anakin. So these actually seem to be selling pretty good. And they're also sold out at Entertainment Earth. So I haven't checked elsewhere, but might check Nerdzoic or someplace like that. But Anakin and Obi-Wan went up yesterday, but again, looks like it's sold out. The Shore Trooper helmet also went up yesterday. So those were your Star Wars pre-orders, again, that were announced at the Canadian Fan Expo. No PulseCon this year. That was announced at the Canadian Fan Expo. Thanks to Troy's Collects for getting that information out. Not surprising to me that we're not getting a PulseCon this year. I don't think Hasbro got a great return on investment on that. And again, it was something that was started during COVID years when the conventions were shutting down. And I think collectors, I think we collectors, and I'm going to speak for myself, though I do think there are quite a few collectors who agree with me. But for me personally, I'd much rather just have the normal fan streams, which is much more direct with the information and the reveals. I don't need to see cheesy bands or whatever, or special guest hosts, or seeing a bunch of influencers sitting on a screen. That's all I always felt like was more for like the shareholders than anything else. But I think collectors just wanted the information. So I do hope, and I'm assuming at least for now, that fan streams will continue as usual. Hopefully we'll get a few in September. but no PulseCon. 1027 event is not likely either. No PulseCon means no PulseCon exclusives, but as we learned at San Diego Comic-Con, we've got the the fall exclusives. So the only one that was officially announced was the Pythona figure, but and this they said was going to be available at New York Comic Con and MCM London this year, and then after those two conventions, they would have a limited number available to people through Pulse. So this one I think will be very popular. This one I think will sell out pretty quickly on Pulse. If you are going to New York Comic Con or MCM London, and you're into G.I. Joe, then this is one you're probably going to want to try and get there. It'll probably be easier to get at the convention than online. That's just my guessing. But Hasbro, Hasbro has not been in full attendance at New York Comic Con. I can only think of 1 year where they actually had a full-on booth and sold exclusives. Normally they do a press event the same time as New York Comic Con, where it's off-site and it's only members of the press and influencers and stuff that get invited, where they show off product. Sometimes if they're doing like a HasLab or something, they'll have a Marvel Legend figure on display at the Marvel booth. But it's been a long time since, and like I say, I think in all the years that New York Comic Con's been going now, I think maybe only one time Hasbro had a full-on booth presence with selling exclusives and stuff. So, but it does seem like they're going to be going back to that this year. And then same thing with MCM London, which again, London is a convention that they've been attending, just like the Canadian Fan Expo, just like the Luca convention. Those are all conventions that they've been hitting up fairly regularly, the last 5-7 years, trying to build up that, I guess, international presence more and more. But this is the first year where like they're actually going to have exclusives at some of these cons. I don't think like they're going to sell these exclusives at Luca, though I could be wrong on that. They might, but again, so technically they've been at these conventions, but they're just going to have a greater presence at them with actual exclusives available this year. For you Lego fans, new Icons Captain Jack Sparrow Black Pearl. This is going up. It's currently listed on the Lego website, but it'll be available September 15th. You'll be able to get this on Amazon. So pretty cool looking if you're into Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't really do Lego, but again, this is kind of a cool one. There's supposed to be, I've seen reports that they're going to do an Icon Star Trek Enterprise D. So there was like an image that leaked out. So I believe that was accurate, but haven't heard anything really official. We also had this Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I think I talked about this one already. This is from Lego Ideas, based on the original movie. So for you Lego fans, NECA, those 2012 Turtles are supposed to be going up next month. I know a lot of people have been asking when they're going to be available, but September is when NECA is saying these are going to be up for purchase. So stay tuned for more details on that, but looks like they're going up very soon. Talked about these other turtle figures that are available now at places like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth. For you Universal Monster fans, we have some NECA store exclusives limited to 2,000. The Bride and Frankenstein. So those again are NECA store exclusives if you want to check those out. Already talked Masters. Just a reminder again, this retro 4-pack of WWE figures are going up on the Mattel Creations website this week on the 28th, so tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. King Harley Race, Bobby the Brain Heenan, $1 Million Man's Bodyguard Virgil, and Ultimate Warrior. So definitely done in a more retro style. Not to be confused with like the RGN figures that are being sold exclusively at Target. And I believe this line, after this set, will start being offered at Ringside Collectibles. So I believe this is like these had been offered exclusively on Mattel Creations, but I think these are moving after this one. These are moving over to Ringside Collectibles, I believe. All right, I think that covers everything. It's been pretty quiet on the Transformer front. I don't think I really have anything new to share with you there. So, yeah, I think that pretty much brings us. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I forgot to talk about these. So now we knew these were coming. We've seen renders, we've seen unpainted prototypes. This is from Loose Collector and Rob Liefeld. Youngblood 112 scale figures. These are sold. You can get these at Big Bad Toy Store. So these two, Shaft and Die Hard, are now available for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store. They went up this morning. We got these new more finalized images of the two figures, which to me look pretty good. I'm actually tempted to maybe pick these up. So that's the packaging. That's what the packaging will look like. Now, these are not cheap. $85 each for those. Loose Collector is a very small operation. Now, he did the Blood Wolf and the Blood Strike, also Liefeld based characters. Those are in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. So those are a little cheaper, but so that's the biggest downfall with the Youngblood figures. But I will be interested to, like, when what are the chances we'll get all the Youngblood team members? Will we 100% get them all, or is it going to be based on how these two sell? So it'd be the only thing. I mean, again, price is a little bit up there, but they look good enough to me that I feel like I probably would pay the price if I felt confident we'd get like all the main team members for Youngblood. So that's the only thing that kind of really keeps me on the fence with those. A new Star Trek figure, EX6 12-inch figure. So Philippa, Star Trek Discovery. This is the Prime Universe version. Though we got the Mirror Universe one that has really became more of the character. So that's up for pre-order. She's played by Michelle Yeoh. They even did a 2-hour movie with her here recently with her character. It was okay. It wasn't great, but Storm Collectible, Storm Marina, Charlie Nash preview. That is in art Wonder Woman figure. So some of these import figures are going to get more expensive because right now it looks like there was some loophole for, like, if you were shipping things under $800, you didn't have to pay duty fees, but that apparently is ending this week. So I've seen a lot of like overseas retailers like Hobby Link Japan and stuff say that right now they're ceasing shipping products to the United States because it's too expensive. So anything that comes directly from overseas, Tomasi Nations, Mayfex, Storm Collectibles, there could be a pause uh, on those, anything new reaching the shores of the United States. So just be wary of that. Also wanted to let you know this Friday, I believe we are getting the Player 2 Cammy figure that they showed off at San Diego Comic-Con. It's being offered as an Entertainment Earth exclusive. And I believe that's going up for pre-order this coming Friday. Got to find the images of it for you. Like they haven't released official images for it yet, but it was on display. Yeah, this one. So I believe this one will be going up for pre-order again as an Entertainment Earth exclusive this coming Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're into Jada Toy Street Fighter stuff and you like the Player 2 versions, this is one you might want to check out. All right, so that pretty much brings us up to date. So let's see what you guys are talking about. Chris says, my dad was also September. Um, I assume you say was because I'm assuming he passed away. So sorry to hear that. But yeah, again, September, great month. No, I'll never be a grow up, William. Never. What is up, Chris? Daryl says we need a 3-pack iceberg and henchman figures. Bat Mike Man, good, glad you made it. Figure Fury, good to see you. Mr. Allmine, I'm still nervous about my 77 Spider. No movement on that yet, unfortunately. Yeah, like I say, I'm just at this point, I'm just totally expecting it to be canceled. I really have. Every other figure I pre-ordered during that Walmart Collector Con has been canceled, so I really have no reason to believe. And I haven't gotten any kind of shipping notices or it's getting ready to ship or anything like that. So I totally expect that one, for me at least, is going to get canceled. CJ, yeah, I like the translucent green head sculpt better than the regular one, but yes, he does come with both. It's a third party delivery service, but it's coming locally. Otherwise, it would not have been here the next day. What I don't know is whether the place picks it up at a store or whether there's a local warehouse that they go to. But it's not, like I say, it's not something where it's like available to everybody. The mass figure collector, family's doing well. Yep. CJ Crystal Ball might be number one on my classified collector list. I hope you get one if that's the case. Figure Fury says he may still have his original crystal ball. Yeah, CJ Prime confirms he was never in the cartoon. I know he wasn't in like the Sumbo cartoon. I couldn't remember if maybe he made an appearance in the Dick cartoon, but I knew he was never in the Sumbo. I thought he had been in the new comics. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but for some reason I thought, because like I thought like these alternate green parts were actually based on something in that comic book series. But again, I might be wrong. I was just thinking about how I'd always have, yeah, I mean, I don't know why, because I think they're so offbeat characters, but to me, those two always seem to be like, I felt like, those two would be hanging out with each other in the Cobra barracks or something all the time. Mike got his finally. Nice. Yeah, Crystal Ball and Raptor as a tag team with Dr. Mindbender as a manager. Yeah, I was kind of like, I feel like Crystal Ball also would probably work well with Mindbender. EB Games in Canada has everything. I mean, if you live in Canada, I don't know where you just buy all your toys at EB Games Canada. Davey Sockrocker throwing in a plug for Pixel Dan's Turtle book. I feel like, I mean, I'm just going by his Masters of the Universe book, but if they sell, I figure he'll have. I mean, because he always goes to those toy shows. He gets invited to a lot of those toy shows, and he always takes his books and sells them. So it's a smart business move. If you've got a show that's going to pay your way to go to it, and then you can sell stuff like your book. But like, and I did get his Masters of the Universe book. I bought it. I bought his Masters book at Joe Fest last year. I had him autograph it for me. I feel so honored that I got his autograph. Davey Sockrocker, red platinum diamonds, stickers, black. Yeah, and part of it's because it really has no meaning anymore. Like gold label used to mean it was just a store exclusive, and now you've got the red platinums that are offered. So, and yeah, it's all that. We've talked about that stuff before, but I don't think Todd helped himself with that kind of stuff. I think he made it way too complicated. CJ Prime, in all honesty, I don't know what Spider-Man woman character that is either, which is why I have absolutely no interest in the figure. But I assume she appeared. She's a more modern version of the character that has appeared in the comics somewhere. So, but I'm with you there. I'm not really familiar with that particular version. Felix, I'm on the fence with Deadpool. I'll wait for Strong Guy to drop. I'm not getting Strong Guy because I have the Build a Figure one, so I just it's not enough difference there for me on that one. Now, if you missed out on the Build a Figure one, then I think the deluxe one's a good, you know. But I'm fine with my Build a Figure that I got and I got that because I wanted to complete my X Factor team, which we finally did with Wolfsbane. Um, Took them long enough, but we were able to finally finish out that team. Um, as far as Deadpool, I am also on the fence with that one. I did not pre-order that one yesterday myself, but I am still debating it. So I might end up getting that one. I don't know. I've got Deadpool. I've got my Toy Biz dupe. I don't really know if I need it, but Again, I'm a little on the fence. Right now, out of the three maximum Marvel Legend figures, the only one that I personally bought was the Hulk. I did not get Spider-Man, and I'm undecided on uh on Deadpool. But I do think that's kind of like the nice thing about the Maximum line is they're nicer versions in general of figures they've given us before, but they're not so like if you don't want to pay the money for them and they're not cheap, 50 plus dollars, you don't need to buy them. It's not going to leave a huge hole in your collection. So yeah, I would be more like some people I see like getting pissed because like, oh, it's another Deadpool figure. Well, I'd be more pissed if they did a character we've never gotten before as a much more expensive Maximum figure than doing one that we have gotten before. And if you decide you don't want to pay that money for it, you still have plenty of options for that particular character. So I applaud Hasbro for not trying to force us to buy something if we don't want it. Figure fear in regards to PulseCon. I like that Hasbro made an effort to entertain, but I would have preferred more actual fan engagement. I just, and maybe it's an age difference thing, but and of course I had to sit through them because I was gathering whatever news would come out of those things. But I can tell you more than one occasion I was sitting there going, "Oh my god, can we just like get on with it?" And I don't mean that to be like a slant to Hasbro. I am somebody who just would much rather get to what I'm interested in, not have to sit through a bunch of fluff stuff that I guess I personally don't find that entertaining. And again, that may just be an age thing. I don't generally go to the internet for my entertainment. I don't watch YouTube videos for entertainment generally. I watch YouTube videos for information, but I didn't grow up, uh, with a handheld phone in my hand. So I understand younger generations definitely maybe or find that more appealing. Davey Sock Rocker, we need a classic WWF logo, which I don't think they can legally do. I don't think they're allowed to ever use the WWF logo on anything. Like we got supposed to be getting a WWF arcade, not from Arcade One Up like the ones behind me, but from a new company, Basic Fun. They're supposed to be doing one this year for like the holidays. The classic WWF arcade game, um, which back in the day had the WWF logo, but I guarantee you this updated machine that they're going to release will not have that. It'll be WWE because again, they're not allowed legally to use that anymore. Figure Fury, if those Youngblood figures ship before the Hunter Rose Grendel, then I will never order loose collector figures again. And Big Bad Toy Store is doing Grendel through their long box. John, a classified Serpentor at this stage, unfortunately. Secondary market. I mean, if you have any local vintage toy shows or anything like that, you could maybe find it, but I don't think you're going to find it at cost if that's what you mean. If you're talking about the classified one with the air chariot. Now we might eventually get like a retro cardback version of Serpentor, but that's not gonna. I don't think that'll have the chariot. So if you want the chariot, you're probably gonna have to go to the secondary market. If you just want Serpentor himself, then you might wait and see if they do a vintage cardback version at some point. Slim Jim, any word on Stan Saki's team? I have not heard anything on that one yet, so no, I don't have any information to share. Cops animated figures, so that's also coming from Big Bad Toy Store, Big Bad Workshop. At least one Cops figure so far. Bat Mike Man, able to get Crystal Ball at his local Walmart. Glad you're able to find it. See, I mean, I'm glad Walmart is at least making some attempts to make these figures more available, but it still, to me, does not really excuse the whole we're going to cancel your pre-orders, like 50-50 chance that when you pre-order something from us, it's going to be canceled on you. So, like, again, 77 Spider-Man, I may end up being able to get eventually, but the fact that I can't just rely on it to ship to me when I pre-ordered it months ago, that's annoying. And to me, there's no excuse for that. Even if they make the figure available again online, it really doesn't justify or excuse that this whole issue that they have with these cancellations constantly happening with their pre-order. So um, I just, like I said, and for the life of me, I just don't know why. Like, why. I would love to talk with somebody who works in the online Walmart area, because somebody that works in a physical store. Oops. I hit a key on my keyboard and now my screen's gone blank. Because I locked my screen. Hopefully I didn't lose you. Okay. But I'd love to talk to somebody who works within like Walmart's online department and ask them, why does this happen? Like, what causes this to happen? Like I say, I can't believe they're not aware of it, because this has been happening for a good couple of years now. But I'd love to know. I'd love to know somebody who actually knows what goes on there, why that happens. Automaton, my Mondo soft vinyl Baxter is shipping. Nice. We need Savage Dragon. I feel like we could get Savage. Like I feel like we might see at some point Savage Dragon get released in that Big Bad Workshop long box collectibles line. Their 112 scale line that has the tick and stuff. Because I believe they did some like in the smaller scale for that long box, they did some Savage Dragon characters. So I feel like that's a possibility somewhere down the road. Loose Collector, I guess, is another possibility, but I feel one of those guys might eventually do, some of those other Image comic guys. I think Walmart's just oversells their products and too lazy. Yeah, but I mean, well, maybe, but like I can tell you, like I'm usually, because I'm online to be able to post about it on the sites for news. So, I'm usually right there when these things go live, and yet my average of these actually shipping. So I feel like my stuff gets canceled not because they oversold, but because of where I live has more to do with it. But again, that's why I would really love to talk to somebody who actually works there, knows what's going on and why this happens, to like explain it and stuff. But unfortunately, I don't have access to anybody like that. And like you can go to the toy companies and ask them, but if they know, they're not willing to really say. So, Mike, Amazon canceled your Cyborg Superman last week. Sorry to hear that. I've never had Amazon cancel an order like that. What I've had Amazon do is like send me a platinum version of a character, and it's usually when I don't want the platinum version that they send me the platinum version. Like the Christopher Reeve Superman figure, I got the drunk Superman instead of the regular one. I ended up having to go to Nerdzoic and getting the regular one because the one I had pre-ordered at Amazon was not really the one that I wanted. All right, well, we're over the hour, so I think we're going to call it a day. But thank you, everyone who tuned in. I don't know if I'll be back on Friday. We'll play it by ear. As always, it kind of depends on how much news we get between now and then. But don't forget, we do have, well, pre-orders for this week, other than like those McFarlane statues. Not and the Jada Toys Cammy figure. That's probably the biggest pre-order still to come this week. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But then I think September things are going to start picking up. I've seen, like, if you go to the Entertainment Earth Drop Zone page, there's quite a few Hasbro listings for September. I don't know what they all are, but yeah, we just found out today the Doctor Doom Marvel Legend Emperor Doom figure is going up on September 2nd. So hopefully we'll get some fan streams as well during the month of September for the various brands. Oh, one thing I guess we did not talk about, and just to give you a quick update. So we talked about the Snake Lair playset, but Hasbro's Republic gunship is still seemingly struggling. We are just over 12 days to go. Still not at the halfway point. 3,842 on the Republic gunship. So I still think that will end up getting backed, at least the minimum funding goal. I think it'll get there in the last day or two. I don't think we're going to see it reach its minimum funding goal until like the very last. I still think the stretch goals are somewhat questionable, though again, because with Star Wars, you often have a lot of overseas backers that get added in at the last. You can see a fairly significant bump with these Star Wars ones. So, but right now, I mean, it's definitely going slowly. And as I said, my prediction is if it does reach its funding goal, it's going to be in the last day or two of it. All right, guys. So we'll leave it there. But thank you guys for tuning in. I am gonna, especially if I don't do another live stream this week, I may do something for you Action Figure Enthusiast channel members. So keep an eye out for that. But as always, guys, stay safe out there. And until next time, I will catch you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Now, if you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. For all the latest action figure news, be sure to head over to ToyNewsEye.com, MarvelousNews.com, JediInsider.com, and TFormers.com. And remember, action figures are great,